How's it going there? Martin Casado. I'm here with Dr. Larry Goodman. And Dr. Larry and I were talking, and we discussed this morning that you just recently watched a webinar by a thought leader in on positive thinking, and it was titled "The Cure for Negative Thinking." So, and I feel like it ruffled you a little bit listening to that and to that webinar. Without going into the guy's name, is there really a cure for negative thinking?
There is no cure for negative thinking any more than there's a cure for being male, any more than there's a cure for being left-handed, having brown eyes, having blue eyes. Negative thinking is part of the balance of yin and yang. You can't have positive thinking without negative thinking. And the pursuit of the elimination of negative thinking stems from a judgment that says that negative thinking is something wrong, it's something defective, it's something that even needs to be eliminated. And you'll never eliminate negative thinking. You just won't, any more than in that yin and yang symbol. You'll never eliminate the black side of it. There'll always be the black side and the white side. You'll never eliminate the white side because there'll always be the white side with the black side. So no, you'll never eliminate negative thinking. Now, if you were going to create a demand for ongoing frustration and ongoing demand for a program, you would do what my mentor John DeMartini speaks of so well when he says, you market the illusion to the many and the few will see the truth. So the illusion that's being marketed in this webinar is that there's a cure for negativity. There's no cure for negativity. Negativity is part of the process of being alive. There's negativity and its complementary opposite, positivity. And the only reason you'd even think of trying to eliminate negativity is because you had a negative attitude toward negativity.
Right. That goes back to the whole yin and yang, and one can't exist without the other, right?
Correct.
You have to see those things. I remember, I forgot which philosopher XYZ was talking about it. Like, if to see the opposite of you, like, right, say there's an alcoholic and you're drinking, if to see that an alcoholic, it's a bad example, but if you see the opposite of somebody doing really bad, how do you know the comparison, right? It's the only way to see that comparison is to see that, wow, if that person excessively drinks, I can be that way. And that's the opposite of being. They both have to exist for you in order to comprehend that duality, right?
We are creatures living in a binary system. The binary system, by its very nature, is a system of complementary opposites. There's a stimulus and a response. There's a positive and a negative. There's a good and a bad. There's a pain and a pleasure. They always exist together. Your neurology couldn't even tolerate all positivity. You would become habituated. You'd stop being able to respond to anything if all you got was positive stimulation. Right. You can actually become, there's an emotion called frightfully overjoyed that we find in some people, where they're literally so overcome with pleasure that it scares them. If you stimulated the pleasure centers of the brain excessively and to the exclusion of the opposite, eventually your ability to perceive the pleasure is shut down. And what's left is just overstimulation. And that overstimulation then gets perceived as pain.
Right. So to move forward, explain a little bit of what your thoughts on that seminar, that, on the cure for negative thinking. What were some of your thoughts of it before we go to the next question?
Well, it's a great marketing idea to put out that there's a cure for negativity, because as long as there's no cure for negativity, there'll be continual demand for the seminar. As long as there's even the fear, even the notion that there's a cure for negativity presupposes that you have a negative attitude about negativity.
Right. Is there like really any secrets to eliminating negativity? Is there some wherewithal or some sort of seminar where, like, once I do that thing and I put in my money in my credit card, I'll get a cure for negativity?
You will never get a cure for negativity. The only thing you'll get if you let them swipe your credit card, once you finish the first course on curing negativity, you'll be done at the end of the course, and I promise you there will be an upsell. Are you still feeling negative? Guess what? We have the new advanced program to deal with the negativity that won't go away even after you've done everything that there was to do in trying to eliminate your negativity.
Right.
Is your negativity chronic? Have you just been through our last 2 courses? Well, don't worry. Now we've got the advanced retreat, in which we'll look to see where the roots are of your negativity. And on and on and on.
So is it possible to escape the social status of being a normal person?
No, to me, normal is a setting on a washing machine.
Right.
I've never seen a quote unquote normal person in my life. What I have seen is people who are striving, and even in their striving, there's the presupposition and the drive to either make peace with what they haven't yet made peace with about themselves, which is the one polarity, or who I really much prefer to aspire to is people who have a goal and a vision and a passion, and they're out to make the most of their God-given talents and abilities by embracing both the positive and the negative. Because in the drive to try to eliminate the negative, the amount of psychic energy that you will expend trying to eliminate something that's a part of your every living breath.
Right.
That energy could be so much better used to enable you to move closer to your vision and closer to your goal than to try to stomp out something that's just part of human nature. That
is true. And a lot of us live as like a prisoner of our own negativity. Like we're so ingrained, we're so, it's just like growing up, and it's almost like, even in my own experience, it was and you would see family members, it was just passed on generations. Like their grandfather showed their father, the father showed that, and it's just passed on negativity. It's like this burden that you're with. Do you think is that a major part of being a prisoner of it and not even knowing that you're in it?
What you see, you learn. What you learn, you live. And what you live, you become. It's just the way that the human condition operates. Right. And the only thing that even presupposes that there's something to, we'll just use the word get over, is the notion that the person you watched growing up, your mother, father, sister, brother, teacher, preacher, that person was in their own distress because they hadn't embraced their own negativity. So you pick up on the distress of that, and you then model that behavior. And what you get is the family phenomena of the model of the quote unquote dysfunctional family.
Right.
It's just what you see.
Another thing that he brought to mind, and the same thing with negativity and trying to avoid it. What's that symptom? I don't know what they're using nowadays, but back it was punch buggy. If you would see a punch buggy, like one of the yellow Volkswagen, you would punch their arm, go punch buggy or something like that, or whatever you saw that thing. So then the next thing you know, you're seeing it over and over. Punch buggies, you're seeing Volkswagens everywhere.
The phenomena that you're referring to is the effect of focused attention. And the effect of focused attention is that what you focus on grows.
Right.
Because when you focus your attention on something, again, as my mentor John DeMartini says it so well, what you think about and think about, you bring about. Now, that's the positive spin on it. That's the effective spin on it. And by that I mean, if you could be grateful for the positive and the negative, if you can embrace the good and the bad, the pain and the pleasure, then what you get to be able to do is really go with the flow. The end of this webinar, when I was watching it and reading the fluff and promotion about it, talked about the idea of how you could unleash your hidden inner power by eliminating all your negativity.
Right. And it can't,
Now,
one has to exist with the other. It just can't. You're right.
not only does it have to exist with the other, if you're in pursuit of eliminating it, that energy that you're going to expand and expend, trying to eliminate something that's
Right.
just a part of every moment of being a living, breathing human being, that energy could be much more effectively channeled to help you move toward your goals, to help you manifest your vision, to help you be free of the judgment that you have on yourself about being negative. The
Right.
solution to being negative, ironically, is to accept it and embrace it. Because in the moment when you embrace the negativity, you dissolve the negative attitude about the negativity. So that you actually become, and it sounds like a play on words, but I don't mean it to be at all, you actually become positive about your negativity.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. We're going back into, like, I saw a good example the other day on those pendulums, in physics, that those things that hang down when you hit one side, that goes through all five and the other one. So it's the same thing as whatever thoughts in those negativity, you put that in the realm, that negative thought hits the other thing, and it's a continuous, there's no room for a positive.
It's perpetual motion.
Right.
It's perpetual motion. Which brings to mind the new program that we're going to be launching about pivotal moments, because we have these pivotal moments that are moments in our lives, in each of the areas of our lives, that we've stored a perception and a point of view about. And in the storing of the point of view and judgment about the moment, you sow the seeds for attracting more of that moment.
Right.
So that the whole idea of being able to eliminate it just keeps you in the game of the struggle to eliminate it. So what we've got is a program where we use these very cutting edge tools to help you to see where you got the idea in the first place about the person, place, thing, idea, or event, where you got stuck in the judgment of it, so that when you know where you got it from, when you can own that it's just a story that you made up, once you really grasp that it's all just a story you made up, any story you can make up, when you decide that it no longer serves you, there's always then the opportunity to change the story.
Right. Reminds me of that Carl Jung. Carl Jung says something of like, we have met the enemy and he is us.
Carl Jung said it, and then subsequent to that, there was a comic strip hero named Pogo. This is probably back in the late 50s, early 60s. Might even been again in the 70s. And Pogo looks in the mirror and he says, "I has met the enemy, and it's me."
Right. Absolutely.
Because you're the one. We, each of us, are the architect of our lives. And my whole point in the Goodman Factor is that the way to unleash your inner good man or woman is to recognize that you created it. You created it. You created it. So if you created it and it's no longer serving you, the power that comes from the awareness that you created it is that you're then free to uncreate it. You're then free to create something else that hopefully will work better for you, that'll hopefully move you closer to whatever it is your ideal scene. And guess what? If that one doesn't work, let go of that one and create another one, and create another one, and create another one, so that in your life you can be free to create and refine your process. Because that's the place where that definition of insanity really originates from. The one that says insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different outcome. Right. Today is the only March 29th, 2019 you're going to get. It's only one. And if you try to live it with the software that you used, even on March 28th,
right.
So that software is going to be outdated.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can go into a whole other rabbit hole with that one. But what is the benefit and detriment to, not to go into just a little bit explanation, to dive into that negativity, right? So if you're constantly avoiding it, right, it's just going to keep coming up. So the opposite is just like everything that you fear, you're skydiving, you finally jump and you feel like, all right, I got that over. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I landed, my feet are on the ground. The same can go into your negativity. Let me dive deep into this, and you'll start knowing yourself. You'll start exploring like, wow, these are my limitations. The deeper you go into the fact that, what is this hurtful thing inside of me? Like, why am I, the worriness of money? What does it go down? You go down to the core of it. Like, how can we ourselves, other than going to a psychiatrist or going to somebody that's going to go in some sort of therapy, how do you dive into negativity? If you understand.
Well, I understand the question.
Too deep of a question, or like, is it good to explore it, or just stay in the present moment? And
well, the mere asking of the question presupposes that you've seen value in exploring it. So if you see value in exploring it, explore it, but don't take too long, because while you're in the process of obsessing on the past, you're missing out on the present. Which just brings to mind that favorite poem of mine. The past is history. The future is a mystery. The present is the gift. And that's why it's called the present. And so people do tend, for the sake of trying to understand themselves, they tend to want to take a look and get down and dirty into their past. Why am I like this? Why am I like that? Why does this keep happening to me? Why? My grandmother used to say, why is a crooked letter. And it is. Or you can use your why as a tool of empowerment. Your why can be the reason why you get up in the morning. In my case, it's the reason why I will travel any distance and pay any fee and go anywhere to learn the cutting edge of tools to both gain mastery over my own behavior and help people to become masters of their own empowerment. I find that to be a much more satisfying and much more valuable why than delving into the past.
Right. So does Dr. Goodman have the cure for negative thinking?
Embrace it. Love it. The quickest thing anybody could do for themselves would be to write a list of 10 benefits of that negative thinking. Whatever the situation is, however problematic you have been holding it to be, I promise you, you're only seeing half the story. If you filtered and sorted for the benefits of the negativity, you'll find that as the list gets longer, your sense of it being negative will get to be less and less and less. And when you get to that tipping point, that point of equilibration, you'll actually get to the point where the thing that you've been dwelling on, that you've been saying was the source of your negativity could then become your greatest gift, could then become your greatest asset, could then become the thing that you could actually be grateful for. And if you wanted to get some help with doing that, one of the things that we always have available at Goodman Factor is you can hop on a call with me. We'll spend 20 or 25 minutes. There's no charge for it. You get to find out, how does this tool work? How could I actually stop obsessing? And once you see that you can stop obsessing by learning to ask better questions, and by changing the way that you focus, and by changing the meaning that you associate with the attention, then you're free.
Right.
Like the call is.
Very good. All right. Well, let's, that was a good segue into that and understanding these seminars and webinars. And it's good that they actually spark you those kind of things, because it provokes critical thinking, which we talk about a lot. And so that's another beautiful thing. So to find you as well, you can go to www.goodmanfactor.com. There's any other reference as well. And also too, I always like to promote, you have also a book on my experience with Dr. Goodman and his coaching. It's called Fridays with Goodman on Amazon. And also, any other closing notes or anywhere else they can find you, Dr. Goodman?
They can find me at goodmanfactor.com. I'm also very Googleable, Dr. Larry Goodman. I've been around and in pursuit of these goals and this vision and this way of looking at things, really, since I hit my own bottom, when I got stuck in my own negativity, when I spent all kinds of time, energy, and money trying to eliminate it. And when I finally got to realize there's no eliminating it, all there is to do with it is embrace it.
Absolutely. And we'll end it on that segment. Thank you very much, Dr. Larry Goodman. And you can find more videos on YouTube and goodmanfactor.com. Thank you. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. All right. Take care. Have a good day.